Is it being watered down? Elden Ring. I mean by 𝐼𝐻, the new roguelite. It's faster, more arcade-like, and built around short co-op runs instead of deep exploration. And if you didn't know, a roguelite is basically a game where you reset after every run, but still keep some progression, like upgrades or unlocks. It's all about trial, error, and getting stronger each time. But here's the thing. Elden Ring is renowned for completely changing the gaming landscape. For starters, the open world map concept was revolutionized, evolving from the standard open worlds that hold your hand by telling you exactly where to go, which effectively makes everything in the vicinity of that location less interesting, or the map having these beautiful cinematic-like environments with nothing to do. So there ends up being this open world that makes the player feel empty. Elden Ring didn't do that. It respected the player's curiosity. Every hill, every ruin, every cave wasn't marked with flashing indicators or cluttered UI. It was just there, waiting to be found. And because the game never begged for your attention, it made you want to pay attention. 𝐼𝐻 shifts that dynamic. The world still looks layered. The caves, the paths, the optional bosses, it's all there. But the pressure to move, the clock ticking down to nightfall phases, introduces urgency that wasn't in the original formula. So now it becomes a question of value. Do I veer off the path and explore this ridge, or do I stay on track because time is closing in? And the world always changes. Even though the base map is one based off Limgrave, you will never experience the same layout twice because it's procedurally generated. It's not that the world is less deep, it's that your time in it is more calculated, and that's where the feel starts to shift. Then there's movement. 𝐼𝐻 gives you a sprint. You can mantle over ledges with ease. There's no fall damage. And you can scale down cliffs in seconds. You're no longer strategizing on how to reach the place. You're choosing whether it's even worth the detour. That level of freedom might sound great on paper, and it is in some ways. But what made Elden Ring's traversal feel so deliberate was how it made you earn your route. Getting somewhere was a lot about tension, a sense of risk, a question of, can I make this jump without torrent? 𝐼𝐻 takes that away. And while that might be cleaner for pacing, it's also one of those areas where some players might start to feel like something's missing, even if they can't quite put their finger on it. So again, is that the trade-off? Or is it just a different way to experience a world that's still worth exploring? But here's where we really need to address the situation, because besides everything we just discussed, for many Elden Ring diehards, it's not the main issue. It's actually the builds. Well, at least for me. For some it's the lore, others it's exploration. Whatever your favorite aspect is, but 𝐼𝐻 forces you to decide very quickly what build you need to make based on your situation. Meaning, how will it synergize with your team's builds? Or if you're solo, is it strong enough? But here's the thing. Elden Ring is also renowned for its iconic build diversity. You could completely live out the fantasy of becoming a samurai/mage, wielding a Moonveil katana in one hand with a glintstone staff in the other, or become a complete tank with a fingerprint stone shield poking away at foes while taking 0 damage. Figuring out the best methods for attribute management was one of the most exciting parts of it all, especially when trying to keep your points within a certain limit for a particular meta. What's S tier? And how does that affect the attributes? Sometimes S tier wasn't even the best, just depended on the situation. There were so many ways to spend hours upon hours in the build lab trying to craft the perfect one. So how does this translate in 𝐼𝐻? Well, I think the disconnect comes with the idea that we may no longer have builds that feel like they're actually ours. Ones that we can go back to, that we can refine based on new expansions or revisit and use to overcome difficult bosses or content. Instead, you have to think on the fly. You're crafting a loadout that works for the next couple of in-game days, not for the long haul. That being said, 𝐼𝐻 does still have a build system, believe it or not. It's just approached differently. At the start of each run, your character, called the Nightfarer, begins at level 1. You collect runes to level up, and those increase all stats equally. So there's no detailed point distribution like in Elden Ring, but where the real progression kicks in is with something called Relics. Relics are permanent upgrades you keep between runs. They come in different tiers, delicate, polished, and grand, and each tier gives 1 to 3 passive bonuses. Some of these bonuses are general, but some of them are designed to enhance characters and their playstyles. Every Nightfarer has 3 relic slots, and those slots have color: red, green, blue, or yellow, which determines what kind of relics you can equip. So over time, you're just building up your power, you're shaping your style. You also have access to ultimate abilities now, which is something new. Each Nightfarer comes with a unique ultimate skill, and the relics can tie directly into boosting those effects or reshaping how your ability works altogether. It's a new layer of identity, and while it's more restricted than the open-ended creativity of Elden Ring builds, it still gives you something to invest in. Then there's Merk, a special currency you earn at the end of a run. You can use Merk to perform relic rites, which let you change the color of your relic slots. That alone adds strategy when customizing your character's loadout. Merk can also be used to unlock cosmetics like character skins and gestures, which don't affect gameplay, but still offer long-term rewards. So, while Night Rain doesn't give you full control of every slot, or let you create wildly hybrid builds from scratch, it does give you tools to experiment within its system. And it's that shift from endless freedom to focused flexibility that might leave some players wondering, is it streamlined or is it simplified? And more importantly, is it still Elden Ring? I'll see you in the next one. Be right out.